Hi, Gemini. It's Angela. We're going to do your October reading for Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Rising. And as I repeatedly say, if you're here and you're outside of the scope of Gemini, or it's not October and this message is resonating for you, then for sure this guidance is for you as well. This is energetic. It's not specific and psychic. It's a general energy. And when I'm off camera, as I'm shuffling, I draw in the energy of Gemini. And of course, as we know, energy is fluid, and it also isn't really constrained by time. So we try to do our best here to package it up on YouTube for you, but it's a from the inside kind of a reading, right? We're reading on intuitive movement in our energies. For you, Gemini, let me say thank you for being here and for continuing to come back to my channel. If you're new, thank you for showing up. If you could help with the likes and shares and subscribes and all that stuff, comment on the videos if you can. That helps me to move my video in the my channel in the direction I want it to go. And with that said, I'm going to show you the Oracle card. Comes from this deck, the Soul's Journey. We typically pull one Oracle card to give us a theme or a topic to focus on, and then expand on it with detail using the Zen Tarot cards. And for you, Gemini, I pulled Perseverance. It says, I know that I can do whatever I set my mind to. So I'm not sure if some of you have a particular challenge in front of you, a project, endeavor, goal, relationship things that you want to iron out, anything that you want to get through and achieve and complete and put behind you. You might want to keep that in mind while we're reading this. If there isn't anything in particular for you, then the general guidance will probably help as well. And then if it ever comes to a point in time where there is something that, the sort of stick-to-itiveness has to come up for you, you've got to keep going, even though it feels like maybe the goal keeps slipping away. Let's see what it says about that for perseverance. You can accomplish anything you set your mind to. Okay, so this is the tree spread. We've got branches of trees here and the trunk coming through. We start on this row, and then we move down to the trunk to facilitate our growth and move us to a higher level of awareness here. The starting point is the burden. So yeah, for some of you, there is something on your mind. There is something that's weighing heavily. There's some kind of resistance or roadblocks or even expectations of others that are weighing heavily on you that you're not sure how to navigate from. And yeah, so let's just keep that in mind. Whatever, maybe this is just burdensome thoughts in general, maybe that's what you're trying to overcome, being able to quiet the mind a little more. But we do start with the mental energy here. So that's kind of telling, since you're an air sign, and this is definitely sometimes when we get overwrought with thoughts or things weighing too heavily on our minds, that can slow our progress, is what I'm trying to say. And like this figure in this card, he's weighed down. There's, he's got a rooster on his head and, he's actually on top of this other being. So maybe it's this guy that's burdened, right? And he's got people relying on him and depending on him and needing him to get them to where they want to be. And this could be you, and this could be your thoughts, right? Weighing you down. Internal energy that supports this burden and hopefully the release of these burdensome thoughts is ordinariness. So yeah, I would say that part of perseverance is to know when to rest and to pull back and let the universe kind of take over and put more things into place so that you can go forward on your road. Perseverance doesn't mean sort of a dogged attack. It means lasting steadiness, right? That's how I'm reading this, is more of a measured, steady, lasting energy toward the goal, instead of a push in pursuit of it, which could burn you out and tire you out, right? So I like that, because when the thoughts become too overwhelming, the inner guide inside of you is kind of telling you, oh, let's just calm it down, right? Let's do the daily walk through the meadow, or like the figure in this card, that's what he's doing, and collecting flowers and sort of just living out a normal, peaceful, well-paced existence, right? It's kind of that chop wood, carry water vibe in Buddhism. Just continue on, not in a frantic or kind of freaked out, overwhelmed way. It's kind of, let's just back off and let things play out a little bit, right? There comes a time for that in every endeavor, right? We end up wiping ourselves out if we push too hard. In your external world, the combination of these two energies, the awareness of when your thoughts become too overwhelming, and then that need to sort of put some breath into the situation and release for a little bit, that results in this card of understanding. That results in those barriers that keep you from your goal will dissolve, right? If you allow enough time and enough space and enough breath, those things that make you feel separated from where it is you want to be will move on their own, right? But it's not going to happen with banging on those bars and shaking them down. It's a matter of allowing them to dissipate. If you can see they're sort of fading away, and just knowing right timing as far as when to take a pause and take a breath for yourself. So I like that. And then the goal becomes closer, and your perseverance pays off. It came to me too that for some of you that there's a more generalized vibration here about perseverance, not with one particular goal in mind, but just, maybe in general, you have a loaded schedule, you have a busy life, you juggle a lot of burden and overwhelm. And this is just a calling for you to remind yourself to shift the energy now and then, take breaks, right? Get out, get nature walks, go into the feelings that you're having instead of working all on mental energy. Drop into what you're feeling in each moment, embody each moment a little more, slow down a little bit. That too can help you accomplish anything, which is, getting through a busy schedule. Like say you have a whole month ahead of busy schedules. Well, you want to build in time that allows you to pace that out as well. This card here is going to be your key to moving forward, your key to an elevated perspective on this. And that card is the creator. You are the creator of your experience. You're creating all the moments that you're living. People get sometimes rubbed the wrong way when they hear that. How could I be creating I didn't create that I lost my job. I didn't create that. Now I don't have, whatever, or I didn't create that car accident or that person that jumped out in front of me. No, you didn't create that. That is called life. Those are random, that's what life does. I wouldn't say it's all random, because it's just continuous. It's continuous. Stuff happens, stuff gets thrown at you. You get tested. You have to jump through hoops sometimes, and that's what life is. What you are the creator of is your relationship to that, your response to these happenings, the way you show up in your life, the way that you respond to the crash. If something, if you get into a crash, and how do you respond? Is it going to tear you down and ruin everything and depress you? Or are you going to be like, accidents happen, let's clean it up, move on, right? That's what I mean by creating. You're creating the quality of your experience here while you're here. And you're creating the quality of your connections with others as well, right? If you have connections or relationships that are less than smooth, they're a little rocky, you are a part of that. You're part of that equation. It's not, we'd like to move away from the blame words. It was your fault and you said this and you said that. That doesn't get us anywhere. The truth is we're all, even though we're all connected and we're all one, we are all also on our individual paths and in different places at different points of our lives. And that's the part that we want to kind of rest back and honor about one another. And then from there, you create the quality of how you interact with others, right? So this is something to remember, especially if we're talking about perseverance. And if you do have one particular goal you're headed toward and you're feeling a little discouraged by it, just know your perception of it and the attitude you bring toward it and the response that you have, that's creating the quality of the journey as you move your way toward your goal. So yeah, that's an important distinction to make when we say we are the creator of our experience. It's not just, we're not creating the things that happen to us. We're creating how we move with that, how we dance with it, or how we, show up in response to those things. Okay, let's move back down. So now we're realizing, okay, yeah, in the name of perseverance and me being able to accomplish whatever it is I want, I'm learning to pace myself. I'm learning to pace my thoughts, to when my thoughts get overwhelming, to sort of take a breath, back off the energy, allow myself space to breathe and to get some clarity, and then realize, even in that, you're creating a better relationship to those burdensome thoughts just by being able to let them go for a minute, right? So you're creating that as well. Now we get to this sort of higher level of understanding as it pertains to the perseverance card. And the first thing we get is trust. So what you're doing is you're establishing yourself a balanced patterning or a balanced response to the challenges and the roadblocks and the things that happen to us in our life. You're creating sort of a more neutral ground from which to operate on, and knowing that, you are the creator of all that. Now you get to rely on the knowledge that really it's always working out in its own way. It's always working out. Life is always finding a way to work itself out. If you look back on your life, like maybe you have some challenges ahead of you and they're a little daunting and it's a lot. But if you look, and you're thinking, how am I ever going to get through this? I don't know how to even proceed. Well, if you look back on the various challenges you've had, because they're always there, we always have them as human beings, right? You can see that you persevered. You made it through. You made it through challenge after challenge, and you figured it out. And then maybe it quieted down, or it went away, or your perception, your relationship to it shifted, right? It became maybe still a challenge in others' eyes, but to you, you dropped that, tug of war, and you're like, I'm not worried about that particular situation anymore. So that's what I mean by this trust. This is that same vibration of looking backward on your life to all the things you've overcome and the path that you've traveled to get you to this point of wisdom now. And you apply that same knowledge going forward into the future, into the unknown, right? I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know, how I'm going to get through this, but somehow, you will. And, that goes hand in hand with the creator card. You will, as long as you show up aligned, in your center, and, you know, with your highest good in mind. Trust that they are actually already beginning to work themselves out for you, even though maybe your goal or your outcome is further into the future. The mechanics of it and the energy surrounding it that the universe provides is already there. It's already moving toward it. Even just that your focus and your thoughts are heading toward that goal, that's generating the energy there too. So the trust, it's hard because it's asking you to believe in the unseen. It's not always easy, but if you look back, like I said, time and time again, it kind of did work out, right? In some way. Okay, let's go down here. And now the card that accompanies this trust card in your internal energy position, right? This is within you. And maybe this is an energy that you don't always acknowledge or say out loud, but I got completion. So intuitively, you already know. It's the logic and the mental and the persona ego that blocks you from knowing that, you know what, you're on your way. It's pretty much a given, right? That you'll make it through, whatever this is, whatever this point of perseverance is. You've pretty much already made it through, right? Energetically, you kind of know this, and intuitively, you know that. And so that it supports the vibration of trust, because, you know, maybe you don't know how you're going to get through it or exactly what it looks like or every step of the way and that kind of thing, the details, but you know you will. You just know you will. And that supports that feeling of trust. That's a really powerful combination there, to have the knowledge it's working out. I will wrestle with the details on my own, but it is working out, right? And then here, your final card, which rests in the external position at the top of the heap, right? So this is kind of like your overview or the insight into the entire reading. And we got the Master. So for you, Gemini, I would say you are reaching mastery here as far as the understanding and the relationship you have to, you know, the act of perseverance, to the keep it going, keep going. It's all working out. Just keep trying, just keep working, keep moving, keep living and thriving and growing and like that, right? You're mastering it. You're getting to that connection to the divine, that channel that is always there, and that the availability of spirit supporting you that is always there. You're starting to really open up those channels and get that, you know, I could be in on the face of it, I could be in the worst space, like, you know, from an ego perspective, I could be between a rock and a hard place, literally. Yet I still know I will make it through. I trust, I know, and the divine knows as well for me. And that kind of helps to create a little more ease on your path as you go. Okay, I'm pulling cards. This is good. This is the one I got for you. I'm pulling a little bonus card for you guys. I'm trying something new here. And you know, when I do personal readings, it's very different. There's like all kinds of decks flying, and I've got all kinds of ideas coming in and out. There's a lot of interaction back and forth, but with you guys and this being a general reading, I kind of stick to a formula because it makes it easier to do 12 of them at a time. But yeah, I added this little bonus card. It's Notes from the Universe. And the one I pulled for you, Gemini, you have more options than you realize. I love this. This goes right in line with that perseverance, and I'm going to stick to it. And along the way, the options that show up that I never thought of before might be, you know, they might assist me in achieving what I want to get to. And so it's staying open as well, keeping that open. That's where this, you know, sort of that first line of cards comes in. When I get overwhelmed, just back off, take a breath, create some space, you know, feel into it and know, okay, I'm closer. I'm closer. The options will show up when you release that blocked energy, when you kind of go, okay, I'm going to trust this. When you're wide open with the trust, that's when the options show up. So you find your way through it in ways that you didn't really expect or foresee. I love it. Okay. All right, you guys, I think that'll do it for now. And thanks again for being here. I'll see you soon.